Okay, we're at Annapolis Yacht Club for the Helly Hansen NOOD Regatta. It is our, we believe, our 31st year here, and it's actually, well, normally we'd be here at this time last year, but the event got punted to August, and it turned out to be an incredible event, thanks to the team here and Commodore Bartlett to my left. So it's good to be back. I didn't get to come here last year. We did this virtually, but the event team cleaned up. But it's good to be back here, and I'm excited about all the window design sailing we're going to see here. This is like, I think now our purest, it is 100% pure one design event, going sort of real to the roots of the whole thing. So it's going to be good. A lot of breeze in the forecast, so it'll be entertaining for those of us watching, and entertaining for those just starting their season after a year off. I'm sure we're going to hear quite a bit of war stories, but luckily AYC has gotten their Wednesday night racing off last night, and that was kind of a, I guess, a rust breaker, if you will. But a light air one, so probably not a true test of skill. But anyway, so here we go. It's a new time, so I want to thank our sponsors, Helly Hansen, and they're on year 6 with this and keeping this event big and amazing every year. And they will be on site down here at the AYC Sailing Center, selling gear all weekend long. And so if it's going to be windy and a little on the cool side, you're definitely going to want to hit them up. And outside here in the dry sail lot, the tractors are purring and the boats are moving around, so it's plenty of activity down there. So on your way to and from the boat, make sure you hit up the Helly Hansen store and stock up. And so to our next longtime sponsor with Mount Gay, they cannot be here this year because we can't host the big parties, as everybody knows. So we take the Regatta Craft mixer that's in your skipper's bag and pour heartily in your cockpits or at your team dinners and everywhere else, and ready to toast some Mount Gay and share with us online how you're choosing your Mount Gay over the weekend and how you're celebrating with your team. And celebrate responsibly, I guess, would be the call there, right? Yeah. Yes, so the North Sails, Commodore, you've played with these guys for a long time. What's the North Sails gig this weekend? What are you guys doing?
Well, we'll be doing debriefs after every day online with you, Dave. And we'll see how this works out. And we're excited to see a lot of sailors come to town. There are 144 boats. So it's almost back to a regular size nude here. And boy, I can't, it didn't come soon enough.
How is the sail order ahead of this event?
Very, very, very busy. We have the J70 North Americans here in 2 weeks. So this is a big tune-up for those guys. So they're going to come here this weekend, racing Big Breeze, it looks like, and we're going to be busy here for the next 2 weeks.
I think you're going to be busy here for the whole year. And you've got the NAs, but then the J80s.
J80s have their NAs in the fall. We have the Annapolis Newport race here starting early June. Snipes have their nationals in Annapolis. There's just Annapolis right this summer is going to be a very busy place to come sailing. And Annapolis Yacht Club really happy to be right in the middle of all of it.
Nice. And you got this like spectacular sailing center you just finished 2 years ago now, I guess. And I think anybody who's new or come here is like, wow, this place is full amazing state of the art. And this is exactly probably why it was built, was to host events all year long, right?
The idea is to have people here and to have parties here.
Nice.
Just wish we could have parties here this year, but we're getting back to this. And at some point you'll see that.
Well, lucky for us, I guess. So the governor changed the order, so it's sort of a little mask friendlier, I guess, in town. So stick to the local guidelines, but the club still has the mask.
We still do. If you're in the clubhouse, you've got to wear a mask. If you're in any building at Annapolis Yacht Club, you need to wear a mask. You also, if you're sailing out of the other clubs this week over at Eastport Yacht Club or Severance Sailing Association, you need to follow their guidelines they have on their lots. And yes, the governor spoke yesterday. We do have a county executive who's a little tighter on the rules. So if you are outside and if you can't social distance, you probably should have a mask on. But walking around without a mask, I'm starting to see people's faces again, which is actually very pleasant to see walking around Annapolis.
Yeah, it's feeling a little normal. Lots of outdoor dining. Town is alive and kicking. Go after racing, go and enjoy the town and enjoy the outdoor seating. So up next, Torquedo. They're kindly stepped up. They're going to give one J70 team a loaner outboard for the weekend. So I want to thank them. We've got a great team that's raised their hand for it. So we'll share their story through the weekend. and to our friends at Anchor Brewing, supplying the beer. So we'll anticipate that hopefully in your skipper's bag or in and around on site, to be determined on that one. And last but not least, to Sunsail, who is sponsoring our overall winner in our Caribbean Nude Championship. So remember, like as we do every year, if you win your class, you're eligible to basically be picked out of the bowl or the hat or whatever we feel like using at the time to go and take a berth at the Caribbean Nude Championship at the end of October. And since it didn't sail this year, we've got all the winners from last year have a chance to sort of redeem their voucher or race there. And then we've got all the winners so far from this year. So
Fantastic.
I think we could have a seriously epic charter boat, one design blast off down the BVIs. And hopefully by then everyone's ready to rip it up in the Caribbean. So it's the time of your life. So make sure if you win your class, we will make the announcement on the final, these virtual debriefs, on Sunday night when things wrap up. So stay tuned, and then we'll call you if you win. And that's pretty much it. So logistically, the skippers, this is our skippers meeting serves as the official kind of welcome. And you can pick up your skippers bags or competitor bags, what we're calling them, here at AYC. Drive up from 5 to 7:30. Coming, we'll safely pass it off to you, and off you go to do what you need to do. So, Commodore, what do you have for all the competitors, both visiting and locals, for this weekend? What's some advice?
Well, the first one is thanks for returning to Annapolis. Thank you, Sailing World, for coming back and putting this all together. Our race committee of SSA and Eastport Yacht Club, Severn Sailing Association. It's fantastic to see everybody working together again. And again, as I said, most importantly, the competitors, you guys are the ones that make this happen. And to see 144 boats return this year is an amazing number. You always want more boats, you want more classes, you want better, more racing. But what an incredible number. And I think the wind gods are going to be with us, maybe a little too much at times this weekend, but they're going to be here. And I'm happy to see that too. So again, thanks everyone for coming.
I think we're doing a sort of some pre-event scan around. So there's a serious sail off in this J111 class as well, because they got the Worlds, I guess, down in Hampton later in the year. And so
That they do.
So if people want to go out and spectate, stick to that circle. The 111s, I'm sure, will be entertaining, as will the 105s, who have like 20 some boats. And you're in the 80s, right? So
I'll be in the 80s. Every class is going to be very competitive. I don't think there'll be one class out there that people say, is pretty easy to sail in. It's going to be a tough weekend, and being early, as you said earlier, early in the season. And if it's windy, like it looks like it's going to be, it should be somewhat entertaining for the spectators.
nice.
Too.
So park yourself at some mark roundings and crack a Mount Gay and ginger beer and watch the entertainment happen. So welcome spectators. Everyone come on out and watch. It'll be fun. All right. So as far as the racing goes itself, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Reeds, who's going to run the show here at AYC. What do you got for the competitors that they need to know? This is your one chance to address those who choose not to read the SIs.
Yeah, choose not to read it. Yeah. So Dave, thanks a lot. The first thing I'll say is please read the SIs, and also note that we have posted one amendment, which allows us to use the change mark as your initial mark. I think that'll be useful on both of the main courses this weekend, as we try to give different course links to different fleets depending on what's appropriate for that class boat. Also, please everybody note that we're still using Appendix U. So that's the 3-minute start sequence on all the courses. So there won't be a lot of flags flying around. It'll all be via communication from the race officer via VHF. You need make sure you have your radio on, because we'll give you good information there. If you don't have your radio on, you probably won't know what's going on. We'll have 3 circles on the water this weekend. Division 1, which will be the Vipers, the Etchells, the J22s, J24s, and the Allbergs, will be sailing on the pink circle, and they'll be using VHF channel 73. Special thanks to Lee Maynard from and the Eastport Yacht Club, who will be managing that course for us. We could not do this without help from Eastport and SSA for this event. Division 2, the blue circle, will be the J70s. We've got 40 J70s sailing. Everybody's getting ready for those NAs coming in a couple of weeks. Sandy Grosvenor will be the race officer for that course, and they'll be on channel 71. And then lastly, the Green Circle Division 3, Taryn Teague will be the race officer over there, and that'll be the J111 sailing their North Americans, the J35s, the J105s, the J80s, and the J30s. And they'll be on channel 69. It should be, as the Commodore mentioned, I think good racing on all of those circles. So please come out and watch. The Division 1 will be sort of between R2 and Greenberry Point. The J70s will be sort of south of R2 and to the east, hopefully. And then Division 3 will be down south of Tolly, between Tolly and Thomas Point. So plenty of room depending on what the wind does. The wind does look quite sporty for the weekend, especially tomorrow. Forecast we're seeing right now from our friends at North Sails call for 16 to 23 knots tomorrow at 11. And then by the end of the day, 26 to 32 knots. So that might be too sporty for some of the classes, and we'll make those decisions on game day as we see how people are responding on the water. But that's a lot for the first day of the regatta. It looks a little gentler as the weekend goes on, but good wind all 3 days. So I'm excited about that. Last thing I want to mention is should you feel the need to file a protest after racing, please note that there is nowhere for you to turn in that piece of paper by hand. You need to do that online via the yacht scoring system. You'll file your protest form electronically, and then the protest committee will be in touch with you and arrange for a virtual hearing that you'll participate with them to take care of all that business. So all in all, we're ready for a great weekend. Excited to be have you guys back in town, and look forward to seeing some great racing. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Quick question for you, Kevin. In your experience
Yes,
with these
sir.
virtual protests, do you have like 1 or 2 quick tips on how to be ready for a virtual protest for those who've never done one?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is make sure you've got a place where you can hear what's going on. I recommend headphones, especially if you're trying to do it, where there are other people. Make sure you've got a good internet connection, and have your notes written out, because it's sort of a little more difficult. You're looking at the screen and trying to have your notes in front of you. And I really think the more prep you do for those, the better off you are. They'll take you in and out of the room. As the jury tries to deliberate themselves, they'll stick you in a separate room, and it's a little different, but be concise, be crisp, make sure you have done your homework, and you should be just fine.
All right, awesome. Linda, the keeper of the castle here, what say ye about keeping the order on the ground here at the club?
Well, hi there, everybody, and thank you, everybody, for coming back, especially Helly Hansen and Sailing World. Just to tag on to something Kevin said about protests, you'll find the link to the protest information in the sailing instructions. So if you go there, you'll find everything you need. We did an awesome job last year, and a lot of kudos for how well it worked. So hopefully you won't spend a lot of time in the protest room. A couple of things, mainly just please, as usual, be respectful of whatever club you are staying in and launching out of. Super lucky here at AYC to have an amazing waterfront staff helping people launch. A lot of volunteers at the other clubs, so we appreciate that courtesy. There's probably no parking at any of the clubs. I know there isn't at AYC because we are full, but all the clubs are located in Eastport. And Eastport has lots of free street parking, so take advantage of that. We got one heads up for all the J70s in town. As you know, volunteers are putting bound numbers on for you for the nude that will stay on through your North Americans. With some inclement weather coming, want to do it yourself, please come by my office at the AYC Sailing Center, and happy to hand out bound numbers. The class is aware that we may have to put them on earlier than later today. But if not, you will actually absolutely have them put on by volunteer before you go sailing tomorrow. I think that's about it. Welcome back.
And okay, so the final one key point is your crew waivers. I know, which are a royal pain in the you-know-what, but it is what it is, and we all do them. So make sure that you do your crew waivers, get them in early, save the team here on the backside a lot of hassle of having to hunt you down and deal with your scoring things because you're not scored because you didn't do it. So just do your waivers. It's not that complicated. Get it done and sail on and be happy. Keep it easy. So speaking of my team, I just quick, you'll see them in and around the sailing center. So some came, come say hi and hunt them down. Jen Davis, who's running the event, as our event director, and Sue Riley, who's our PRO that we bring to all the events around the country to ensure we have, the great consistent race committee work and cooperation everywhere we go, so that it's always a good high quality experience on the water. We have Paul Todd, our photographer. Most of you guys know him, the crazy Kiwi with the crazy hair, and he'll be out shooting. We're in a big Mako 31 with a videographer as well, so we'll do our best to stay out of your way. We're trained professionals. We've been doing it forever, so you don't have to yell at us. We'll steer clear, and we'll make sure we get the good photos we need without bugging you. But all the photos and videos will be up on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, sailingworld.com every night. So poke around and find them, share them, and hopefully enjoy. And if you have any questions or comments or whatever, or story ideas for me, email me at dave.reed@sailingworld.com, and I'll come find you and share your story. So I guess that's it for me. Everybody have a great weekend, good sailing, and thanks for having us. And I guess we'll see you every night.